Hi, Mike.
Hello, Pat. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing good. Good. Weather's starting to, try to turn, so getting a little bit better weather, so that's always good.
Yeah, we're supposed to have storms here this afternoon.
Mm.
You can kind of feel it in the air. It's real heavy.
Yeah, when you start feeling that heavy air.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what is it? It's like 60 today, so not bad.
Good. Good. Yeah,
And we
spring.
got our HVAC system for the warehouse fixed yesterday, so that's good.
Good. Just in time.
Just in time. Hi, Lorena.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hi, Lorena.
Hey, Pat.
This is the first day one I've been to or joined group.
I've only been to one other, but I missed Tuesday, and
Yeah.
um, I did really have, I guess, a question that I feel like requires a little bit of a extended answer, and I thought we might have a better chance to talk about it at this time than that time, but so I'll take you all out of suspense. Um I'm my question is that I guess like uh for both of you really, just because you're both doing this, or I guess maybe more when you're doing a market season, for both of you, because you haven't started yet, have you, Pat?
No, huh? No, it doesn't
Okay.
until June.
Um, I'm curious what your non-negotiables for your systems are each day. Like this day, like for Mike, I know like you guys are pretty standard on your Sunday, Monday harvest. Like I know that that's like a non-negotiable, obviously.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, other than that, though, it's like I would love to know when is your non-negotiable tray washing, or is it a little bit okay? Or is that a little bit different because I mean you do have an employee who could, it's not just you, or maybe if you could think back to when it was you and Jess, when it was just you and Jess, like what did your systems or your attempted non-negotiables, like what did your ideal week look like, I guess is
Okay,
what
them are
I'm.
two different things you're asking.
Well, I know ideal and non-negotiable are totally different,
Yes.
but in a way, ideally you're getting your non-negotiables done.
Well, non-negotiables is like it doesn't matter if it's an ideal week or not, it has to get done. An ideal week is like if everything went perfectly, this is what I would like
Okay.
the week to be like.
Okay, well then skip that. We won't use that verbiage. We will use what did when you guys are in market season, what does your non-negotiable week look like?
So in market season, non-negotiable week for us. Thinking back to kind of realm where you were at, obviously planting on Friday, non-negotiable, and get everything packed and ready that you could. That wasn't cooler items packed in the van that night.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. You got to pack it beforehand because it's too early in the morning to do that, and that way you only have to get the cold stuff into the van and take it with you
Uh-huh.
in the morning. Uh, so that was kind of my Friday non-negotiable planting, getting stuff ready for the market. You have to do that. non-negotiable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And obviously, you got to go to the market then.
Yeah, right.
you,
Saturday is non-negotiable. You're at the
negotiable,
market.
yes. And then when we got back from the market, it was eat some lunch, because you had time to do that. So, and then we would count everything. So what we had
Yeah.
left, everything like that, that's non-negotiable. We had to do that so we could plan for the next week and find out what we were doing. Number wise, because it's going to change. You're going to get your average and everything else. So you had to do that. So, um, now I'm going to talk one market wise versus the six
Yes.
we were doing. Okay,
Yes.
one market
Yes,
wise.
please.
So, and then Sunday was rest. I would rest. Do your watering. Non-negotiable. You got to non-negotiable every day is watering. Okay, let's put that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta water. And then Monday, Tuesday, before we were doing grocery stores deliveries, that was our harvest time for that.
Okay.
Was for that because we were also doing a Wednesday and Saturday market, so we would harvest everything before the first market. Just
Okay.
have to be where we were at. So yours might be different if you're harvesting right before market or not. So take this with whatever system that you need to do for you. So Monday and Tuesday was, harvesting, packing, labeling, getting all that done. And then, so all that. And then Wednesday after the market, before the market, because Wednesday was a morning market. Yeah. Sorry. Morning market. And then we'd get back and clean the trays on that day. Was the ideal, I would say, because it didn't always happen. Sometimes you're tired or something else comes up, but, so that was market, do the same thing. You count everything else and all that stuff when you get back, non-negotiable. And then Thursday is your planning day, where you plan out your next week. Because to us, Thursday is kind of that transition day where it's not a day off. You're transitioning, so it's kind of your weekend in one day, but you also have to transition and do your paperwork and do all that stuff that you need to do as well on that day. So that was Thursday. Non-negotiable paperwork has to get done and planning for the following 2 weeks out.
Right. Like, my planting tomorrow is going to be for both of that, 10 plus days from now, farmers market and vegan night. So, yeah. So I have to plan that.
Yes. Planning is key. That's non-negotiable every week is planning. What you're doing, what you need to pack, what you need to plant, all that stuff. And that was Thursday.
Right.
And then we start all
Now,
over again on Friday.
right. So I'm pretty much sticking with your model of, so my days are not going to really be that different. The only reason why I say that is because I have with chefs, I have to be able to make deliveries during the week, and my chefs get first priority.
Yep.
So as long as my crops are ready by Monday, if I get a chef or caterer, because notoriously I'm getting a chef or a caterer who didn't plan, and yes, who think I'm a grocery store. Um, and they're, so what's nice about that is that, I can sort of try to do my best guesstimate on planning on that, for that a little bit. But if I don't have any, but I'm not like planting egregious additional trays, or whatever for
Yeah.
that. I'm just, on the off chance. Then I can always take it to the market and sell it. So that's sort of where my mind is that I would rather be harvesting on Monday, and then, have everything ready for the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday,
Yep.
for those last minute people. And then whatever I have left over, what's at the market is what's at the market.
Yep.
That's not an order. That's this is what I have to sell.
Yep. Exactly.
Buy it if you want it. Or I will try to convince you to buy it.
You will
But
give them the reason why they want to buy it.
yeah, well, yes, of course. But yeah, so just because it's like I have this semi close-ish friend slash female entrepreneur slash friend who is like marketing a systems breakdown kind of thing to try to, because it's like I know I've talked to you and I know I've said it a million times on this call before, Pat, I'm sorry, that I have ADHD, and it really it is truly a daily struggle. And it's like I know these things are negotiable, but it's like my not negotiable, excuse me. They're non-negotiable things that have to happen. But then it's like, the fires. I call them my fires. I'm always having to put fires out in my life. And suddenly the fire, because it's a fire, you know, and it's just my life. I have young adult children, and they have their own struggles as well, et cetera, et cetera. Just stuff happens. Or, again, a chef is calling me last minute. They're saying they need something yesterday. Can I help them? And then I'm like, yes, I'll help you. And then it's like my non-negotiable gets pushed to later and later in the day till it starts to become a negotiable
Nope.
because
You can't
I
go to
ain't
sleep
got,
until that non-negotiable's done.
well, I mean,
You have to have
so
that
I
mindset.
I non-negotiated my harvest last night.
Oh,
So obviously, so I was up till midnight last night doing that. So everything is harvested and ready to, because my planting, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. This planting got renegotiated. That's why I'm harvesting on Wednesday, not Monday.
mm,
But last Fridays I did not okay, but see, okay, so this is where, yes, if you're non-negotiating your things can also become not sustainable.
yep.
So, transparency. This last farmers market, I was awake for 48 hours straight
Mm,
between Friday and Saturday because my harvesting got pushed out. And so, and that was, I even didn't get any sleep, even with Jeremiah and my daughter helping me. So that's how far in the weeds I was, right? With packaging, labeling, and just prep, signage, everything. I'm still trying to get all of that nailed down for this farmer's market, right? And the way I want it presented, because the more clear and concise you are at the market, again, you're making it easier to make sales. So it wasn't just it was my signage had also become a non-negotiable at that point too. So I guess that's where I am trying to ask about these systems, and which is, again, I mean, that's why I pushed myself last night, and I was just like, no, I have to do this. I don't care how tired I am right now. I don't care what happened earlier today. This has to get done today. Like, you cannot not get sleep on Friday. Again, you can't do that
yep.
to yourself.
Yep. Because
So,
if you just keep pushing stuff off, it just piles up. You got to just get it done at some point. Yeah.
right. Um, so that was, I guess, my whole, why I'm considering sitting down with my friend and even paying her money, obviously to help me hash out, you know, maybe the super specificness, the specificities.
Yeah, don't ask me to say that word.
Yeah, I didn't say it right either. But you know, of what all is going on in my life, and so that maybe I can, box off these times or something. I don't know. But
Well,
I
you
mean,
do, just to let you know, if you do have more calls available that are available to you for your annual membership. So if you need more one-on-one help with that stuff, let me know.
okay. Well,
And
yeah.
setting up, because there has to be somewhat balance as business owners. The business is the main thing, right? You have to make sure it's that, but you also have to have a little bit of balance in your life as well. Not everybody can do what I do. And I know that. So you need some balance. You need to be some block scheduling, some stuff like that can really, really help you. Without block scheduling, I wouldn't be able to get anything done that I get done. So,
Right. And I did take y'all's advice from a previous call when I was telling you again, I know these are my personal problems to anybody who's listening to this in the future. And for bless you, Pat, for listening. But it's the time blindness is another major thing, so I took y'all's advice, and I you know tried to time myself on how long it takes to do certain things, just the non-negotiables, right? And I don't know, I did it for like a week and then I like fell off the wagon with that. So um consistency is also a problem I have too. So
I did put a link in the chat. This is who's helped me out tremendously of getting my calendar set and everything else, because I was just winging it a lot of times until I found Marianne, and she helps me every week build out my schedule and everything else. So highly recommend her. Anybody who is struggling with scheduling and calendars and making sure you're getting your stuff done that you need to get done, she's amazing.
right. And I know that you have shared.
What?
I was just saying, I know you have shared her stuff before, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. She changed the way I do my schedule so I can do more times and do more calls like this, do them twice a week, and so everybody can be at them and stuff like that. So that has helped tremendously, as well as getting other things done that I do.
Right. Because it's like right now, I feel like I'm so overwhelmed with all the stuff that I need to be doing, especially now that I've added the farmers market into this and it's now a weekly occurrence instead of just vegan night where it was a monthly occurrence.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I feel like my poor boyfriend doesn't get to spend time with me unless he's doing my business with me.
Yeah, and
Like,
you need to schedule things out for that,
yeah.
and it sounds weird, and I know it sounds weird, but you need to schedule and block schedule out a time to spend time with your partner.
Oh, no, and no, I don't. I absolutely 100% agree with that. And it doesn't sound weird to me just because I feel like forgot my phone. Sorry. I feel like the longer, I mean, regardless of whether or not somebody's running a business or not, I feel like people can definitely kind of take that for granted the longer
Yes.
they've been with somebody, and if you don't say, okay, we're having 2 date nights a month,
Yep.
and if you don't plan it, it may not happen,
Yeah.
and then you're like, when was the last time we went on a date? When was the
Yeah.
last time we spent quality time together?
Yeah.
So I will.
Always date your partner, whether you're married or not.
Exactly. And I will say that as a huge thank you to Jeremiah for him, because I'm not physically able to
Yeah.
lug all my stuff, and it is definitely not his personality type to be at a farmer's market. and having to talk to people or anything like that. Not that he has to do it a lot, but you know what I'm saying.
You're bringing him out of
I
his shell.
Well, I am, which is, in a way good for him. I'm pushing him a little bit, which he does need that a little bit. But I do we always go out for lunch and that's on the business,
Good.
and I always let him pick. It's like, where do you want to go? you
Nice.
know.
That's good.
So we always do that, and
Good, good.
then yes, we go home. I have to inventory and, count my numbers against what I said I brought versus how many sales we had, so the whole thing.
The big thing that kind of saved us time on that is having that square register and recording what we're actually selling.
Yeah.
And then you just got to look at the report, right?
Yeah, because you were doing it
Oh
even
yeah, manually.
through QuickBooks. Like you have your Square set up to QuickBooks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it goes. Yeah, they connect with each other. Yep.
And see, I haven't, that's why, I mean, I know that I'm sort of a nag a little bit in the group where I'm always asking, like, I would love a master class on that, and I know, like, in all of Jess's spare time, sure, she can put together a master class for us, um, but it's like I don't know squat about QuickBooks, and I don't know squat about I didn't know squat about Square until she taught me about it. So that's kind of my thing, is it's like I don't even know how to begin to even approach that. And sorry, it's always coming back to ADHD, but y'all, for anybody listening to this now and or in the future, it's a real thing. There's a lot of overwhelm.
Well,
Um,
we have the marketing class come up for tomorrow. Maybe it could be on
it's
QuickBooks.
it's actually tonight.
Is it? Today's Thursday. Never mind.
Yes.
I forgot today was Thursday, to be honest with you.
It's okay.
I
It's
just looked at my
okay.
calendar, went off that I had a meeting, and I go do the meeting.
Yeah, hey, you know what? If I could actually like stop what I'm doing and do that, yeah, that would be great. If I could get my life dialed in like that. Um, but no, yeah, I know that's tonight and I didn't want to miss it. Um, that was another reason I pushed and made myself do what I did. Well, also to be fair, I also had orders that I had to fill today too. So that was another reason why that all became a non-negotiable last night, because I was just like, no, has to be done. And it's
Has to
like
be done.
if I let my peas and my sunflowers go, then they get crazy. And yeah, no. So, and the peas just don't taste as good if you let them grow too
No,
long.
no, no, no. If
They
you do
get
that, you got to cut them short. You
Yeah,
don't
but
want
then and they still don't
yeah,
taste as good.
not right. No, they're okay, but they're not
They're
optimal
not as
flavor.
sweet. They're
Yeah,
not really sweet anymore. So it's like you really got to catch them. Well, for me anyway, in my climate and area, like I really have to harvest. Mine are an 8 day. It's if I want the best flavor payoff, it's an 8 day for sure. And then these sunflowers from Johnny's, they just pop off so fast. It's like
yeah.
they start getting their little true leaves start popping on day 8 for me also with the coast of Maine. And I mean, I'm sure that's got to be true for you too. I mean, we're pretty much all using the same lighting as far as I know, so
Yeah.
I don't have super water in Florida or anything, so
You just have super humidity.
yes, I did the humidity probably as much as I you know say it's such a huge challenge for me, because it truly is. um it is probably a blessing in the actual growing of my crops. Like I may actually get a tiny little edge of yield advantage from that, just because, as Jessica was saying in the last call I was on, something about how the plants know, with the tilt of the earth and the you know
Plants are more in tune with nature than we are, obviously.
Yes, very much so. But Pat, I feel bad. I'm just chattering on, please. If you
And
No,
we
no.
also have William or Jim and
Oh, I'm
Isaac who showed up.
sorry. I'm sorry to everyone. I'm just chattering on. I yield the floor. Oh my gosh. I'm on my phone, so I can't see everything like I normally can. Welcome
Well,
to everyone else.
Has anybody else got anything they would like to talk about?
I just have one question.
Yeah.
And it's just it's about seed storage. I've got gamma buckets, 3 of them. Are, do you put a desiccant in like for seed storage, like a packet or anything, or
Only
not?
thing we do on that is because it comes with it is the wheatgrass. All the other seeds we've never had any issues with. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you just have a gimlet, I mean, you're not hopefully not having these longer than a year, so you should be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Especially with the gamma lid, you're sealing that up. The wheatgrass doesn't come with a gamma lid. It just is once you tear the thing off, we just use the same bucket. So that's why the gamma lid should seal everything off if you're doing it right.
Okay. Thank you.
Jim, Isaac. Because if you don't speak now, Lorena will speak for the whole hour if you want her to.
Well, I just sit here enjoying listening to Lorena, actually. I'm,
Oh, you're so sweet.
no, I mean, you had a lot of good points there. I mean, I know you're going through the negative aspect, I guess, right now, but I'm retired, and I'd like to do this as a business to the point of bringing my kids into it. And I have a 13-year-old, and I think she might enjoy it, and could
Oh,
actually make a living out of it, right? But on the other
yes.
hand, I don't want to get to the point to where I'm back punching a clock either, because that's why I retired.
Yeah.
but
Amen.
but I'm an overachiever. I mean, I'm up in the morning and I'm doing something all the time anyway. But that goes right back into that scheduling because I waste a lot of time too, just dragging here, dragging there. Where if I had that set schedule, where okay, from this time doing this time doing this,
Yeah.
much like what Mike said, I just look at my schedule and then go do what it says to do, right?
Yep.
And so that's what I've been trying to do quite a bit, and I think that'll be a real positive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I by no means, I mean, I don't want anybody to take what I said as a discouragement. I was just being really raw and real with everybody. But, again, some people may be like the utmost organized people and never would have said, yeah, I'm going to sign up for the farmer's market, even though I'm nowhere near ready to do it. Because that's what I did,
Right there
and
with you.
they're going to be like, no, I'm going to make sure I have my banner. I'm going to make sure I have all my signage. I'm going to make sure I have this and that. And, like all of the things before they open their so-called storefront. But
Speaking of banner, you know when we got our first banner?
just recently.
Yeah, a month ago. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I actually keep echoing that in my brain a little bit, in that this week I had a goal to try to, that was an ideal week goal.
yeah.
I'm still doing a lot. I'm tracking a lot better this week than I did last week. So, especially since I already have everything harvested. Now, where I have to make sure I don't mess myself up is that I have to plant on Friday and I have to make sure I have enough clean trays to do that in. So, but I don't know how many trays I need until I plan for the grow.
And yeah, you got to plan.
And
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Got a plan. So I'm just saying, it's like, it's not that I won't feel eventually that this is sort of a plug and play, because it's like it's a bit of an organic thing, especially, or at least I feel like it is, because you don't really know until you get there, till you see how windy it is, till you see how hot it is, till you see get a I don't know, it's just for me it is. Some people might be able to visualize all of that in their heads, but I'm I am still in the planning process of exactly how I want my booth to look. and how I want to,
Don't worry, it'll
you know.
change.
Oh, and it will probably constantly change.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I really do want to build um the racks that you have the plans for. And the
Yes.
only reason I want to do that is because while the little doohickey that I have from Amazon is fine for what it is, it's not enough surface area for the wind.
Yeah.
I would say the little shelf area couldn't be more than 6 inches wide,
Yeah, it's not very big.
and yeah, it's not very wide. So, um, yeah. So it's like I want to be able to create that so it's like I can put my different live crop display, examples, little 5x5s that I grow and stuff like that on something like that up on a riser so people can see it better and you know
Just
have a vision. It's going to take
vision.
time. It's going
Since
to
we're
take
talking
time.
about calendars and stuff, I will show you guys kind of my calendar.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this is how I block schedule things. Now I do some other things, like I said, up here you can see, but the planting days, all that's there. I got to let somebody in. Hear me. So here, this is payroll. It's going to go off and tell me, hey, it's time to do payroll, or I don't forget to do payroll. And all my meetings go in here automatically, all that stuff, everything else. I go in the beginning of the week, and it's got this whole board thing, right? So this is like all my brain dump stuff of stuff that I want to do. I'm working on writing a book, but it's in here as a brain dump because it's not a priority, right? So I go every week and I take out of that brain dump and I make my priority what I want to get done. So I put it over here into the to-do list, and then I schedule it on a time. Like this one was scheduled yesterday. Again, it's not a high priority. It's a to-do. This one's an urgent. Got to run payroll, right? So that's a non-negotiable, urgent. So that's going to go off and all that stuff, everything else. So that lets you know what you're doing. Some other things that I'm working on are over here. That's working on this week. No set time, just get it done this week, kind of thing. So you get your scheduled that, and then it goes over. I just schedule it for like the day of something. So here, schedule it for the day, and then I can drag it down and fit it into where everything else is in, right? So it makes it really, really simple to, then I can put it into where I need to go. Obviously, this stuff was last Saturday. It didn't get put on anything because we had to pop popcorn because of supply issues and all that stuff and everything else. And this is a high priority, so it got moved back up. And popcorn popping took over because that's the money.
Right.
So, but you can set it as a high priority, urgent, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that you're getting it done. But block scheduling has helped me out tremendously to get stuff done. And then if I got free time, it's in here, like boom, whatever.
Wow, I can't believe you even have free time.
Well, it usually gets filled
is
up with
this-
something. So,
Is this just a Google Calendar or?
this is actually ClickUp.
Oh,
So
click up.
ClickUp. Yes.
And how is that different from just a Google Calendar?
Like, it's got the board things here. So like this is huge. I can go in here and brain dump, and it's just set in here. Number one. And it will repeat, and I can move things around easier. So I mean, you can kind of do it on a Google Calendar. Like if you go to the calendar, you can go over here and you can add tasks wherever that button is at now. I forget because I don't use it as much, but there's the task thing. Like you can add it to it, but it wants you to schedule it right away, right? It's
Right.
do a scheduling on it. In ClickUp, I can, whenever I think about something, I can go brain dump it. Like I can just like come up new popcorn flavor, something new popcorn. Put that in there. I can save it. I don't have to sign it to anything, a date, nothing. It's just going to be there. It's my brain dumping, right?
Right.
And then when I go on my week to schedule my whole week out, I can see what that is. I'm like, okay, do I want to do that week? Let me get all my non-negotiables put in, schedule them in around my calendar that's already there. moved all that stuff over there, and then I can come back to things that are non-negotiable and put them in the spots that are open. You know, when you go to the calendar, then you can put them in the
Right.
spots that are open, you know, and you can fill that in.
Does that sync with a phone app?
It does. Yeah. Click. I have the phone app as well on here on my phone as well.
And is that a free app or a
You can get it free up to a certain point. I paid for it. It wasn't very much, and I pay for stuff yearly, so I get it
Mhm.
cheaper. But there is a free thing you can do, and Marianne just posted about that in one of her other group. Don't look at all these groups; they're not all there. I don't go to them all. This is her free group. So she talks about it a lot. If you ever just want to get into it for free to start with, obviously, that's the best way to go. You can get in her free group, and she can help you out and get you started for sure. Now I have her because I have a meeting with her every Sunday, as you can see down here, Power Hour, that I go over, and we make our schedule and everything else, and then I meet with her in the middle of the week to make sure that we're on task and what we need to change and everything else. So she's my calendar coach. So and make sure I get everything done. So, but I thought I would share that with you.
No, yeah, absolutely. I know you shared it with me on my clearly I didn't follow through with that. You shared it with me on my one-on-one.
Yep. Well, I'm sharing with everybody now.
Yes, and sharing with everybody now.
But as business owners, and if you're doing this, you got to have a calendar, whatever kind of calendar you have, something. You got to have a calendar. You got to schedule stuff. You got to take the time in the beginning of the week or the end of the week for the next week to schedule that stuff out, right? Like, or you're never going to get anything done.
Or you're up for 48 hours straight trying to get things done.
Yes, and I was there before. I was you-ish. I was doing all that stuff, you know, staying up and grinding it and not sleeping and maybe taking an hour nap and doing all that stuff. And I know you guys know I used to take a lot of naps. I don't take naps anymore because I'm not overwhelmed by my calendar. It doesn't drag on me. It doesn't feel like I need to get stuff done because I feel refreshed because it's just, I know what I need to get done. And I'm not like, oh God, the stress of like, oh, that needs to be done. This needs to be done. This needs to be done. Well, it's in the calendar. It's done. I know when I'm going to get it done.
Well, and that's my thing. It's like one of the phrases that this friend of mine using is she said, you know, she runs 3 businesses, and she said that her first business ran her
Yep.
until, you know, she figured out how to get her systems into place. So now that's like she's just offering like coaching,
Yeah.
you know, now on it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, having a coach for that is huge. Your calendar, a coach to help you get organized. Highly recommend that for sure.
But you get the hour, the power hour with her every week if you do the subscription, the
Yeah,
monthly.
if you do the subscription, you get a power hour with her. You get a meeting with her to go over your calendar, and then you get a midweek check-in
What's the midweek check-in?
to see where you're at with your calendar and what there's any issues or anything else, just to help you work through things, making sure
try
you're
to
on pace for the week.
help you get maybe figure out a way to
Not be
get
up in
caught up.
48 hours. Yes.
Yeah, get caught up if you're not.
Yes. Yes. So usually it's Sunday.
That's
Sunday's the power hour or Monday morning. She does one Monday morning. It's Sunday or Monday morning. So you can do either one of them. Then she'll have a meeting with you at the beginning of the week, either Monday or Tuesday. That's just a one-on-one with you for 30 minutes to go over your calendar, to go over your plan for the week, and then meets with you again for about 30 minutes or so as part of a group call, just to make sure that everybody's on pace and if they need help with anything.
okay. And you have an affiliate link for that somewhere?
The one I posted in the chat would be an affiliate link. Yes, the first one, the calendar
Okay.
success. They're both technically affiliate links, but the one's a free group, so it's not an affiliate link. You know, it's an invite code. Invite your
I'm
friends.
gonna remind you later, just because I don't think things save from the chat.
Okay, I will just send it to you.
Yeah, will you DM me that?
Yes.
Because this is becoming a need instead of a.
It is a need when you start running a business, honestly, 100%.
Because I mean, the other thing is too, it's like I still want to grow, obviously beyond just the farmers market. You know, what if I want to add another market, or what if I, not what if. I definitely am still trying to get in with more chefs and caterers. So that's one-on-one. So it's just like
Yeah.
if all my time is being absorbed with farmers market stuff, then attrition happens. People
Yes.
like chefs move, they get fired.
They're a constant thing.
Yes, attrition happens, like it or not, and it has nothing to do with you. It just happens. So it's like I have to keep adding to what I have so that when a chef inevitably gets fired or moves to a different restaurant where microgreens are no longer relevant or something, you know, it
Yeah,
happens.
it does.
That's
Yeah.
business.
Popcorn popping today. See which one this is. I think it's maple.
Ah.
Yep, it's maple. My favorite.
Oh, is that one really your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
You guys ordered any of those Del Cove
I asked her to,
flavors yet?
and I'm just gonna go do it myself because she hasn't done it. So
Okay. Well, I'm going
don't
to
tell
tell
her.
you that people, which one's the dill? The
Mm-hmm.
dill sold out first.
That's interesting.
And I don't think it was because I named it the Big Dill.
It helps. Let's talk about it.
Right.
It helps. Like people find it cute, interesting, funny, and then they want to buy it. So naming helps.
Well, and not trying to steal your name, I went with Taco Tastic, and I catch people, if they don't stop to try it, at least they're like, oh my gosh, Taco Tastic.
You can
So
steal my names, guys, if you want. I don't care. Now, if you were my next door neighbor, I might care, but other than that.
Well, like I said, until I get a cease and desist on veggie confetti, I'm using it. So just because that one, that's just not replaceable. Even Tracy agrees. That one's just not replaceable.
It's hard to call it anything else.
Well, it's so beautiful too when you grow it. So.
Yeah.
And people buy with their eyes, people. So if you are at a market and you can show a live display of that one or Mike and Jess's like Brassica blend, I tell you hands down, I sell out of those two blends faster than anything.
Yes.
I mean, I had a vegan night where I sold 12 containers and would have sold a 13th container of veggie confetti if I'd had it. And that was just in 3 hours and on a once a month market that's in the middle of the week. So on a work day. So
Yeah, that's good.
and there's not tons and tons of people there either. It's not like a real farmer's market. It's just a pop-up. I'm popping up at a restaurant basically, or well, they serve food, but they also do music too. So
Nice. All right. Anybody else got any questions?
Yeah, I've got a
Long is it
question for you, Mike.
Okay. Go ahead, Isaac.
So I know last week we kind of got into a little bit of like what was necessary for wholesale as far as kind of going through FSMA and all that kind of thing.
Mhm.
For farmers markets, cottage food is a requirement. Is that correct? Or is that
Not for
kind of
microgreens. No.
okay? Because I guess I'm just having trouble finding because everything is so broadly defined, even though
Yeah,
it's specific at the same time. So I guess I'm just trying to make sure that I've got my butt covered as far as
you are produce. You're a single cut produce.
okay,
That's the terminology everybody needs to remember. Single cut produce. So you're gonna fall underneath the same thing as a lettuce person, somebody selling onions, whatever.
okay. So then, uh,
So you need no government licensing.
so I don't even need a cottage food permit then.
Not if you're doing just microgreens. No.
Okay. So then, is there anything that I should be aware of in as far as if I get any kind of pushback on that, anything that I can cite, anything that I can
Say I'm
bring
a single
up?
cut produce,
Okay. So I
just
okay.
like a lettuce, and then that's what it would say. It's just like a lettuce. It's just mini lettuce fields in trays. Is all it really is.
Okay. So then theoretically I should be able to get into the market if I just pay their application fee and then whatever it is that I'm selling, etc.
If they admit you.
Gotcha.
They still in the one you're trying to get into is not the easiest one to get into, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I missed the cutoff on it anyway,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's kind of a moot point at this moment. But
Yeah, and they sell out pretty fast, so
yeah,
but yeah, you got to get that started in January.
yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm just curious to make sure that I'm good to go on stuff. But
Yeah.
that's helpful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, single cut produce is the verbiage that we teach and tell and what we use, and that's what we are.
Okay. And then given that, is there any requirement that I need for the health department then? I feel like we did that again, but okay.
No.
Cool.
Nope. Jim, you were chiming in real quick on something, I think. You both talked at the same time.
I was just curious on Lorena. How long does it take her to pop up?
Okay, so goodness. Right. Okay, so we're doing the 12, I think it's a 12-ounce kettle. Or we're popping 12 ounces of popcorn at a time. Unpopped, 12 ounces of kernels.
I'm sorry.
And
I need to clarify that. How long does it take for you to set your tent up to get ready to sell?
How long does it take you to set
The,
up
the other pop up.
oh,
Sorry.
okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about popcorn. Sorry. It doesn't take long at all because it's just one table and instead of the two, and it's under a covered kind of pavilion. It's like a cement.
indoorish?
It's indoor-ish. Yes, I would say ish. Just because they have sliding doors, so when it's quote unquote cold in Florida, they close the doors, and then when it's hot, obviously we keep them wide open so that there's flow through. But it doesn't take long at all. I mean, I would say maybe 20 minutes, and that's even unloading the car. Just because obviously I already have everything. I do a pre-cut in a cooler, so I'm not doing a live cut, so I don't have to be, as careful with trays or what have you. And then I just have my little live demos, which usually fit on one 10 by 20 solid tray. So that's just one tray to carry. And then everything else is, just coolers, a table, tablecloth, my sign, and product. So I don't have to mess with the tent or, any of that business like I do at the farmer's market.
So a farmer's market take you about an hour, you think?
Mm, I have help. Jeremiah helps me, obviously. So between the two of us, I would say maybe 40 minutes.
I
It's
would give yourself an
still,
hour.
Yeah, maybe just give yourself an hour. But if you're not doing it yourself, I would definitely think it would take less time.
Yeah,
Just
thank you.
because the tent that Mike and Jess have in the resource section, technically you should be able to open that and close that tent by yourself because it is a single push up in the middle. You just expand it out, kind of, I don't know. It always makes me think of a crab a little bit when we're opening and closing it, or like an accordion, maybe. I guess you could say that instead of a crab. I don't know. That's not a good reference. So think of it more like an accordion style. You pull it out wide enough so you can crawl underneath it, and then you just push it up in the center, and then you just
Lift legs.
telescope up the legs. It's easy.
As long as there's not a
And
bunch of wind.
yeah. Well, if there's a bunch of wind, you better put your weights down
Yes.
before
Have
you.
weights.
Yes.
How much weight do you put on each leg?
I live right on the coast of Florida, down here in the Panhandle, Panama City, so it can be very windy. So I went over rather than under, and I'm doing 40 pounds on each leg.
Oh,
No, not 40. My bad. 20. Just kidding.
okay.
20. Yeah, Mike was about to say, okay, that is excessive.
That is a set.
Yeah, no. And these tents are good because some tents don't have a vent in them, and this one does. The one that's linked in resources, so that will also help with your tent not trying to fly away.
Yep.
But yes, we do 20 pounds per leg. Sorry.
Yep, that's roughly what we got to. We got the bags that go wrap around the legs that you put the rocks in. Highly recommend rocks over sand. Don't know if you get them bags that wrap the legs. And they come with the tent as well. The bags do, so you can just get some rocks and fill them. So it'd be about 20 pounds, I think. Yeah.
Well,
The
why
only
rocks
reason
over sand? I'm sorry. Go
What
ahead.
was that, Jim?
I was gonna say, why rocks over sand?
Because if you get a little it opens up a little bit. Rocks are a lot easier to clean up than sand in your car.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was just going to say the only reason why I know exactly how much mine weigh is because I decided not to fiddle with the bags, and but you can actually buy uh like weights that have a cutout that will fit exactly onto the leg of your tent. And I just found those on Amazon, and they came in sets of 40, so I bought
Okay.
2 sets.
Nice. Share that because I don't. If you make a post, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Because I don't know about them. So
Well, then you don't have to worry about sand or
yeah,
gravel, and they're a lot easier to carry just because they have that slice out. So it's like picking up a weight that you were going to put on a barbell.
yeah. Okay.
And then
Cool.
they're notched too, so that they like click onto each other. So they're never going to slide around either, even though they're slick, if that makes sense.
Cool. All right.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good. I have a question. By the I am harvesting my grains by 10th day for every farmers market. So I feel the greens are still wet. Um, so I'm not watering the before day of harvesting, and
Mm-hmm.
am I doing anything wrong? Like I feel like a little wetness on the greens.
You might. And if is it like a heavy amount of water, wetness, or is it just tiny bit? It should be dry, but a little bit won't be that big a deal.
Okay.
But if, as
So
long
the
as it's not
tiny,
like
I feel like greens are wet towards the middle,
yeah.
while the far end are dry.
Okay, that's probably overseeding in the middle then on your trays.
Oh, overseeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Okay.
everything else is dry and that's the middle it's probably overseeding.
Oh, okay.
Because when they get together, like they're gonna hold on to each other, they're gonna hold on to that water and everything else. There's no place for the water to go. They can't evaporate it as well.
Okay.
So yeah, watch your seeding in the middle of the trays.
Okay. And also, I have another question. So, how do you manage ordering the what is soil in the bulk?
You typically got to find a distributor that's near you that's going to deliver
Oh,
it. We use BFG. Um, that's the name of the company, BFG. You can look them up. They have distributing centers across the country and in Canada and everywhere. So they keep on buying out more. So um, check them out. They might be able to do that for you.
okay.
Now, do
BFG.
you? Some of them require that you have a commercial address to deliver to, though,
Oh,
when
okay.
you do bulk. So you have to check that. I don't know. There's a couple that will do. Lorena, you got one, right?
Yes, I did, but I also need to caveat that your statement that you just said, because on the application, because I called BFG up and asked them about that, and they said that that's actually an error and it's something that they should have had fixed ages ago, that you do not have to
Oh.
have um the thing that I was calling about is that does your billing address, that because it says your billing address for your payment has to match the shipping address, and I
Yeah.
was like, what? When, so I called about that, and that's when they were like, no, that's not true.
Yes, that's not true.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But so what Mike is saying, it might be true. That could be true, but I mean, I'm pretty sure as long as you're not on a dirt road.
It doesn't hurt to call them regardless and
Yeah.
find out.
Call and ask. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But yes, there is one that I found. And I would have to hop on the computer and find it. So I can find it and put it in the chat.
Okay, sure. And also, my question, how did you manage multiple farmers market in a week? So you harvest one day and you plant one day, and so the farmers market. So, for example, the farmers market I am aiming for so far is on Wednesday and then Sunday. So I'm just wondering, like, how did you guys scheduled while you are going in the farmers markets, that you just told us, like, you covered 6 farmers market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just want like just wondering, how did you guys manage several farmers market with 1 day of seeding and 1 day of harvesting?
Exactly that. We did 1 day of seeding, 1 day of harvesting. So we'd harvest on Mondays, uh, Monday/Tuesday back then, because we weren't doing deliveries on Tuesday. Once we got Tuesday deliveries, we went to Sunday, Monday harvesting. With just the two of us to getting it done, it took 2 days.
Okay.
And then we just made what we wanted to sell for the farmers market that week in a total number.
Mhm.
We harvested it on them days, and then we went to the Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Saturday, 2 markets, and one on Sunday. And whatever we had left by the end of the week is what we had left. Sometimes we
Okay.
had very little left on the Sunday market, right?
Okay.
Yeah. We still there's no way you can do if you're doing that much. You could do multiple days of harvesting, multiple days of planting. You'd never be able to do it.
Yeah. So far I was telling, like, for my in my current farmers market, I am like, this was harvested yesterday and this is hyper local and this is so fresh. So with 1 day of harvesting, how can I manage the another farmers market, since the harvest they will be 2 days old with me, right? The harvested greens will be 2 days old. I mean, simply I'm selling 2 days old greens. Um,
Uh, you could still use the same verbiage as harvest locally, harvest this week, whatever you want to say. Harvest
okay,
2 days ago,
harvest.
whatever you want to do. It's still going to be the freshest product they're ever going to get, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you can still use that kind of verbiage. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Because and they're gonna say, yeah, I'd harvest this week. These last probably 10 days in your fridge. Even at the Sunday one, same kind of verbiage we used, and never had anybody complain or anything like that. So yeah.
So the process we follow for the greens will stay for 15 days, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
have observed they're staying for 15 days.
yeah. So yeah,
And also I'm managing the harvesting the greens without any seed hulls somehow. I think I am pro in growing now. I'm not seeing any seed hulls, like less amount of seed hulls previously, if comparing myself previously.
nice, good. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't. That's awesome, and yeah, I wouldn't worry about it because you're going to be fresher than anybody else is ever going to be. So
Okay. Yesterday, one restaurant owner came and they asked, like, will you be able to sell wholesale? I was like, I told okay, but I think I have to answer more confidently. That's what they took the business card and they left.
yeah, when somebody asks you something and you want to sell your product, my this is me personally. My answer is always yes,
Yeah,
and
I
then I
told
figure
yes,
out the
but I
how.
told like I just started in April, so I
Don't
should
even say
have told
that.
like I'm very old.
Don't even tell them how soon you started. Just say yes, I can, and then
Okay.
you go back and you figure out how to do the how. Right?
Okay.
It's
Okay.
better to have yes, and so they have confidence that you're going to do it, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
have the conversation with them later when you actually have the true conversation of when you could start with them.
Okay. I should
Because
have asked
these,
more questions. Like,
yeah,
do you have any more questions while anybody approached me to the wholesale as a wholesale vendor? I should have asked their contact information, and also
yes.
I should have asked like how much are you looking for. So I did not really expect that, so I'm not prepared at all.
Yeah, well, now you'll be prepared, and you say yes. And can I get your contact information? I can send all my information over to you, and we can start the conversation after the market's over.
Okay.
You
Well,
know,
thank you so
yeah.
much. I, I'll answer more confidently. Thank you.
I understand. It's kind of sometimes it throws you off. Somebody asks that question, you're like, I wasn't prepared yet for that. But yes,
Okay. Okay. I have more questions, but the time is up, so I will join in the marketing call then.
okay.
Okay.
You'll
Thank you
have some
so much.
time after that to do that and everything else. And Lorena put in the chat, I see Seven Spring Farms. So for that. All right. Time is up. We're over. And we do have the meeting tonight at 7, right? 6. Sorry, that one's at 6. 6 o'clock tonight, which is the marketing meeting. Jessica will be doing whatever she does for marketing there for all the annual members. So if you're an annual member, you are obviously welcome to be there. If you're not an annual member, upgrade and come join marketing because without marketing, you can't grow a business. But if not, we will see you guys on the Grow Along for the annual members at 7 on Friday for Cantaloupe. That information will be up shortly, and then we'll be into next week's calendar. So,
Can I just throw in a PS really quick for
yes,
Hemi? I'll DM you, Timmy. I'll DM you the direct link to because I can't get back in because it's past the expiration time or whatever in school on the computer, so it won't let me in on the call. So that's why I just put the thing on there. But I'll send you the direct link, and I guess Mike's gonna say, or you could just make a post about it. So I will.
just to let you guys know, if you're ever coming in and you want to make sure the meeting's, if it's still live, everything else, you can just go to the calendar and click on it. The Zoom call is there. If it's still live, it'll be able to get into it. So,
Oh, okay, thanks.
yeah, just FYI.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys at the next meetings. If you need anything in the meantime, obviously make a post in the community, ask a question. You could help somebody else out too. So we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.